Hello, welcome to the Marc Show, the cybersecurity show. In this video, I'm going to talk about a device, a type of router that can give you unlimited internet for as little as $10 a month. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going dark. So in rural South Carolina, there's a lot of neighbors that just get by with their phones, either as their primary computing device or by using it as a hotspot. The phone as hotspot works, and for some it may work as well enough. But there are special cases where the phone doesn't get as much reception indoors. So people have come to rely on 4G routers, which usually have larger antennas and get better reception. It's not until you open it up and find the SIM card slot that you don't even know had like a 4G router or something like that, right? So there's also a spot for a micro SD card, right? A micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes. So you can use it as a media server if you like. The slot fits a micro SIM. So before I proceed, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the like button. Before I proceed, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the like button. So this device has been, it's called the Spitz. It has been tested in a variety of ways, right? There is so it was initially tested using the T-Mobile SIM and an AT&T SIM. But it was also got it to work with a Google Fi Nano SIM by carefully aligning it with the slot. So this is not really a long-term recommendation, okay? This is kind of like a quick fix, you know what I'm saying? Quick fix. So, but it works while you're waiting for your SIM card adapter kit, which is about $4 to arrive, which you will need to use, a Google Fi or other nano-sized SIM card. The GINet has a guide to setting up Google Fi on the Spitz. So, how about them apples? So the included antennas pick up a signal that phones can't, but it would be nice to have a MIMO ports to connect an external MIMO antenna. Otherwise though, the hardware is simple and small. There are 5 LEDs on the top showing power status, WAN connection, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz activity, and LTE connection status. On the back is a power supply port, as well as a LAN and WAN sockets for wired networking. So let's talk about full control. So once you've got your SIM card inserted, you connect, to the Wi-Fi network and point your web browser to the Spitz admin page. This is a big part of what makes this Spitz very powerful. Behind the scenes, Spitz uses open source OpenWRT modem firmware, which allows you to use some tools and access features normally found only on much more expensive routers like network-wide VPN access, ad blocking, parental controls, time-based controls, and much more. So the GINet uses a custom skin. So if you're familiar with OpenWRT, what you get with the Spitz will be slightly different. All the features are there and you can install anything extra you want, but things might be, in slightly different places than you're used to. It would take a long time to detail what's good about the OpenWRT here, but certain features in particular help make the Spitz great. The first is band locking. Cell towers use different bands that cover different swaths of frequencies. So depending on where you are and what sort of towers are around you, some bands may be faster than others. This is partly due to local support, partly due to congestion, and partly due to something mystical, which is to say factors beyond your control. Much of the time, it was found that changing bands can make a difference in speed. So the Spitz make it easy to change bands by running what are called AT commands. Now, that might sound complex, and some of it is, quite honestly, but changing bands is easy. All you have to do is pick up the right options from the top-down menu and click send. The web interface said the command had failed, when we first did it, but that was when we checked. So the band had indeed been switched. After experimenting with this feature, flipping through bands over the course of several weeks, it was found that band 4 gives me about 2 Mbps faster speeds than other bands. So Another Spitz was set up using the Mulvads VPN through the WireGuard settings, and now that I've set up, the router level VPN, I can never go back. Alas, sometimes I do leave the house, so I'm not always trapped in here, guys. I do got a life outside this YouTube thing, right? I do leave the house sometimes, so I keep the apps on all my devices for when I'm connected to other networks. But it's nice to not have to think about it at home. So I didn't get a chance to play around with the network-wide and ad blocking or some of the other open WRT features, but you can browse the project's wiki for more details. So it is safe to say that the main use for the Spitz is as a 4G modem, but it can also be used as a repeater for a WAN extension, also known as WAN, or it can be tethered to your phone. There wasn't tests that were extensively as far as those kinds of scenarios, but they work. Okay, they work. Trust your boy. The real appeal of Spitz is the controls you get through the open WRT firmware, which allows a level of customization and the potential to tune your reception that you won't get in most other routers. That said, years of experience with flaky 4G networks here and there has taught a lot of people that nothing is guaranteed. What works in one situation might not work in another, right? What works in a bougie situation of somebody with a high class might not be for one of your dusty setups. I'm just playing, just kidding. So another part about the Spitz is it's cheap, right? Especially for a 4G router. So there is one drawback to the Spitz, however. It doesn't have a 12-volt power supply. It's not a great choice for road warriors living out of vans unless you have an inverter, right? If that's your use case, check out the Muddy, the MUDI, which features the same great firmware but has a battery and charges off USB-C, making it much more mobile friendly if mobile isn't a concern, though the Spitz is a great option. So let's get into the 4G LTE smart router. So the Spitz is a 3G/4G dual band wireless router, and it's again widely used for smart home and IoT areas. Again, it's running on OpenWRT OS. You can compile your own firmware to fit for different application scenarios. Again, it has the built-in mini PCIe 3G/4G module to support different operators and can be used all over the world. Okay, there's the Spitz GL X750 V2, and is the advanced version of the Spitz GL X750. So that's what I have for you today. Please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the like button. Please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the like button. I appreciate your viewership. Stay safe. See you in the next video.